What's going on, everyone? Gilman with Wellthy Stocks back with another NIO update video where we'll take a look at how NIO stock traded this past week, some key support and resistance levels that we are looking at moving into the future, as well as a little piece of news that I'd like to share with you guys on why I think, NIO stock could really start to take off for the rest of 2021, and also a pattern that we see developing. So real quick, if you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to hit that like button down below and subscribe to my channel if you are new. Comment down below what your thoughts on NIO are, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. Let me hit record and we will get right into it. So like I said, a little bit of a red week for NIO stock, as pretty much, the rest of the market, and with everything going on with GameStop and AMC and a lot of these short squeezes, a lot of people are having to shift money around to cover the shorts, which I think is one of the reasons leading to the kind of a red week that we saw. That being said, NIO's red week wasn't too bad compared to some of the other companies that I cover, which is great news for the company. And then also we'll take a look at, what is happening. So let's really quick cover what I was wanting to talk about. And this is an article published on Benzinga. I'm looking at it on Yahoo Finance, but it's essentially talking about China's EV market, right? So I'll cover this, I'll cover the price target increase we saw, and then we'll get to the charting. China, as we all know, is a really hot EV market, right? We're talking about the number of people that are looking to go electric, as well as future projected growth in electric vehicle sales. So that's really good for companies like NIO, XPeng, and then Li Auto, right? Those companies, as well as Baidu as well, or WM Motors, which is backed by Baidu. So we'll take a look at, what that means for NIO here. So we're talking about EV penetration, right? Will increase from 5% in 2020 to 20% in 2025, right? 53% in 2035 and 80% in 2050. Those far out numbers I'm not really as concerned about, right? The 2020 and 2025 number, though, going from 5% to 20%, I think is really, really great. And we're talking about, four companies, like I just said, NIO, XPeng, Li Auto, and WM Motors, backed by Baidu and Tencent, which Baidu and Tencent are both really big conglomerates in China, right? So I think all four of those companies are probably really nicely set, but why I really like NIO is because they have a really nice positioning in the Chinese EV market, right? After the COVID-19 pandemic affected sales in the first 2 months of 2020, they really picked it up after, right? They ended on a high, having delivered a record 43,728 cars for the year, and their increase month over month was there since August 2020. All great news for the stock. In December, they had 7,000 vehicles broken down by these three. Their deliveries are sitting at a not so robust pace of 1,598 in January. Were sitting in January 2021. So the other thing that this article talks about is the other things that they are doing currently, which is a limited period zero down payment option, which I think is going to help sales as well. And then the other thing that it talks about, which is another kind of big thing that I think is a game changer for NIO, is the battery as a service scheme, right? So right now, the problem with a lot of these companies is if it takes 30 minutes for me to charge my battery, right, on a road trip, what am I supposed to do for those 30 minutes? Whereas a gas car currently would take you about a couple minutes, 5 minutes max. And what NIO does is you go in, it'll take out your old battery, put in a new one, and you're good to go. And you pay a monthly subscription fee, which is great because it gives them a little bit of a competitive advantage, right? Battery swap is something you could do with NIO, but also it's good for NIO, not only because of that competitive advantage, but because of that subscription model that people pay either one-time fee in addition to their paying for the car, or they pay on a monthly basis, which is recurring revenue for NIO as long as that person owns the car. So all that is great news for the stock. I think, again, I've talked about the battery as a service being a game changer for them, but also, they're talking about increased sales month over month, which is great news again. And the other thing is Morgan Stanley issued a price upgrade to NIO to $80, which is also a number that I've talked about for a while. So we'll take a look at if we could see that sometime in 2021. Again, not saying that that's all NIO is going to do in 2021. Hopefully it's going to happen either in the first quarter of 2021 or even the first half of 2021. But my first kind of price target for NIO is that $80 mark. And hopefully we get there sometime soon. So let's get right into the kind of 5-day chart for NIO, and we'll kind of see what we see. So similar to, the overall market, we saw a little bit of a red week. We went from trading in the 64s to trading in the, let me hide all drawings. There we go. So yeah, we went from trading in the 64s to trading in the 57, right? And that's something that we, we're okay with because of the pattern that we saw developing that we'll cover in just a second. So let's take a look at the daily chart and we'll kind of see what we see. And that is, this pattern that we saw, right? This bull pennant, this wedge pattern that we've seen developing since pretty much January 11th. And what that means is over time, right, if this is the range it's trading at, it's going to keep getting lower and lower and lower until it gets to the end of this channel. And at that point, what we'll see is it'll hopefully break out to the upside, right? It doesn't have to, but that's what we're hoping for. So this past week, when we started the week, it was hitting up against the top end of this channel and it broke down, hit this point on Wednesday. But even at the sell-off on Thursday, Friday, right, it held those levels really, really nicely and continues to push up. So that's what we're looking at moving forward. We are looking at a couple things, one of which, right, is one of which is this 21 EMA, which is coming in at 56.48, which I also think is the kind of bottom line in that bull pennant. So that's a level of support that we have to, in my opinion, hold up for us to keep moving forward in this bull pennant. And then the other thing is this AEMA is at 58.39 that I think it'd be really good if we can capture. As you could see, since we broke down on Wednesday below the AEMA, we've had trouble kind of going up above, staying above it, right? So Wednesday we pushed above it, sold off, pushed above it, sold off, pushed above it, sold off. So we'll see if we can, sometime this week capture that AEMA as well. Now let's talk about our levels of support and resistance. So this is where we are currently. Like I said, we have a level of support here in the 56 kind of 30s, which is also the, it's kind of three-part, right? The first thing is we've had that level there for a while as a price action level of support. We've also got the 21 EMA perfectly lining up there right now, which again, that 21 EMA is a number that keeps changing, and the 56.48. And then we've also got the upper end of this bull pennant. Let me get rid of the indicators for a sec, right? This bull pennant is coming in. So this bull pennant line, this price action line, the dotted line, and then the 21 EMA are all right there in the 56s, which gives me, a decent amount of comfort that we hopefully find support there if we go down. Now, we've seen a lot of weakness in the market related to the GameStop AMC short covering. So if we see more of that this upcoming week, right, we could drop a little bit more to the 54.60s if that happens. And then if we keep going for whatever reason, we've got the 34 EMA in the 53.82, right? So again, on the downside, first level looking at, which I think is going to be, hopefully a good level of support because we've got three different levels of support there in the 56s, mid 56s. Then we've got the 54.66, and then we've got the 34 EMA in the 53.82. Those are the levels that I'm looking at moving into the future. As we could see, right, the only time we broke below that 34 EMA back here was when we did that offering. Not we, NIO did that offering, right? And then when we came up, we also sold off a little bit and bounced off that 34 EMA. So 34 EMA should definitely hold up as good support if we were to go down there past the 21 EMA. The other thing that I'm looking at on the upside though, if it starts to push up, like I'm hoping for this week, is the first level would be this 58.37 level, which again, coincidentally also aligns with our 8 EMA, right? So I think that level is what I'm going to be watching. As you can see here, we ended the day right there, right? So struggling to stay above it for the past 3 days. So this 58.30s level is, even if I think we're gonna have a little bit of trouble breaking it. So if we go up, we're gonna hit it. But even if we are above it, I think it's gonna take a little bit for us to stay above it, right? And not see a sell-off in the second half of the day like we've gotten used to seeing. Once we can break this 58 level, I think 60 is the next level, and that puts us in kind of gives us run room until this top end of this bull pennant, and hopefully, you know, if that works, we could see a rejection at 63. So again, first level I'm watching 58. Hopefully we can get above it and stay above it. Then $60.04, which is, you know, pretty much where 60 mental resistance sets us up nicely for the $63 mark. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think of NIO. I continue to be bullish. I'm holding my shares. I actually added some shares this past week because I think that, you know, we're going to start heading up here, both with the, you know, overweight rating with Morgan Stanley $80 rating, as well as, you know, this pattern that we see developing and any good news that we get. My only concern is if NIO does another offering like we saw them doing back here with the, this time it was a convertible debt with a little bit of premium. If they want to compare it or convert it to shares, if we see something like that, then, you know, all this technical analysis might kind of take a back seat and will drop a little bit further than the 21 or the 34 EMA. So that's all I had for you guys today. Hopefully we see a green week for NIO, but, you know, with all the uncertainty, it'll be interesting to see with GameStop and costs and AMC and how that goes. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day. And until next time.